Investment Challenge, day 5. Today we're going to look at one company and we're going to look at some of the tools that I use when I do my analysis. And the first one we're going to look at is Börsdata, and I mentioned this yesterday. And this is a really good site. It's not free, but it's not expensive at all. And they have most of the financial information that you could possibly need for very many of the Nordic companies. And you can compare the company you're interested in with other companies doing the same thing. You can compare it to the entire industry. It's a really great tool to get a bigger picture of if things look good or bad. And that's pretty much the first thing I look at. And one thing that is very free and very easy accessible is Alla bolag. And I think most Swedish people use this, and there's something like this in all countries, but it's called different things. And here you can see a basic overview for mostly the last 5 years. And sometimes you can just look at the 5-year and see if the company, is it growing, is it losing less and less money. And you can also see who's in the board, and a lot of things you need. Actually, you'd be surprised, you can find it right here. I use Avanza a lot as well. Here I can go to a little more in depth. I can see the order book. I can see an overview of the news, the latest news in this company. I can see the forum, and even if that's not really that much information or advice or much of use in any way, you can still see what people are talking about, and sometimes they will post a link to something that's interesting. So every now and then I just look in here. And I'm not using that much TA, technical analysis, but if I would want to, I can put some moving average or an RSI or something like you can see here. And then there is the in-depth. So more or less the tools that I've shown so far, that's what I use to decide whether a company is interesting or not. And if I decide that it is, most of the time you can just Google investor relations and the company name, and you will find a site for this, and here you'll find the financial reports and financial overview. And it's here, you'll spend a lot of time reading these documents, but you will have most of the information you need to figure out if you're buying or not. And I also use Infront, and this is not for investing, it's more trading, but I do use it from time to time to see volumes and who's buying and who's selling at what levels, and historically who has been buying and who's been selling. And well, this is kind of over course. You don't need to do this. So the company we're looking at today is Fingerprint, and I feel kind of like the the last person ever doing analysis on this, because everyone's been talking about this for quite some time now, and that's because it's just an amazing story. It's been traded for just a couple of kroner for a very, very, very long time, and then all of a sudden everybody sees this amazing product we have, and it skyrocketed up to 640 kroner, something like that. And that's the peak you see here. And from there it's not been strong at all, and actually since September it's pretty much straight down, and now we're today we closed at 73.45. So kind of a long time since it's traded this low. And I'm not an expert on this company, but still I feel I have to say something about it, because everybody's interested in it, or was not so talked about anymore. But I am not the expert, as I said. There's a lot of people who knows more than me, so I'm just going to show you what I'll be looking for, because I still feel that this could be an interesting company to put in my portfolio. We'll see what happens. I will be looking at these levels, and here's a guy I stole his tweet. I hope he don't mind, but I'm giving him credit here, Orc Market Maker. And there's a couple of like mini futures, for example, and Nordea, Morgan Stanley and BNP has a couple of these out there, and it basically means that the levels and how much volume on each level. And if the price reaches this level, this amount will go out. So these are really important levels. Hopefully they won't hit, or they will hit very soon and I will be able to pick it up cheap. But you still need to know where all these are, so you know what risk you're taking. I'm also looking at Finansinspektionen, and here you can see the short sellers of the company. And I'm looking at two things, more or less. I'm looking at who's short selling Fingerprint, or whatever company it is. If there's a big institution that I have a lot of respect for, then I might stay out because they are seeing something that I'm not. And I'm also looking at whether they're adding or losing up on the position. And we can see here the position from the 25th of November. It was 1.58, and as of today it was 1.17. So someone's easing up on their position, the short selling. So maybe they are happy with the course at this moment, or they are thinking that the course or the price will go up soon. And these are basically buys. So a covered short position is a buy of the stock. So someone is buying and they have 1.17 left to buy. So if they're looking to cover their whole position, it's 1.17 more. And this Friday will be kind of interesting because we will hear from Fingerprint. We'll talk about the strategy and the financial guidance. And at 13 o'clock, they'll look at some trends in Asia and some opportunities in the United States. But mostly we'll be looking for the guidance for 2017. They will tell whether it's looking good or if it's looking bad. And they will send out a memo at 7 o'clock. And this is the decision I have to make, whether I think that it's a good idea to buy it Wednesday or to wait for this meeting to happen before I buy. And I think actually a lot of volume will be traded in the call before the market opens, really, when seeing the memo. And I don't know if you know this, but the call has changed in Sweden. It's harder for traders to trade the call. We don't have as much transparency anymore. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to do about this, but it's definitely interesting, and it might very well be a buy in Fingerprint. And to match my portfolio, I need to go from about 75 to 90, and I actually think this company has potential up to 100. And that would be more than enough to cover my 20% that I need in my portfolio. So overall, Wednesday, Thursday, we'll see what happens with Fingerprint. That's it for today.